As an Indian passport owner, where would you invest? Would you rather choose the Nifty IT index or the Nasdaq 100? The nature of businesses in both of these indices are inherently different. In the context of Nifty IT index, you have services and consulting based firms, giants such as TCS, Wipro, Infosys, etc. And for that of Nasdaq 100, you would have Apple, Microsoft, Google, Meta, and the like. What would be your pick?
To truly pick the right businesses in our portfolio, we need mental models, ways to really see how these companies work. Numbers alone don't tell the whole story, so let's take a qualitative lens today. We'll start with the heavyweights of the Nifty IT index, the top 50% by market cap. What kind of business models do Infosys and TCS truly run? How can we think about them in simple, powerful mental models and hence guide our investing? Infosys and TCS are like the world's top contractors. Global companies hire them to build and maintain their digital infrastructure, just like you would hire a contractor to construct your house. They may not own the platforms like Apple or Google, but they are absolutely essential to make those platforms work inside Fortune 500 businesses. They have built proprietary tools and reusable modules that come in handy for them to assemble a custom solution for any global client. Here's why, qualitatively, that makes them a very good investment. First, they operate on long-term outsourcing contracts, which means steady, predictable cash flows. Second, they benefit directly from the global digital transformation trend. Every bank, retailer, healthcare company, everyone wants to modernize needs, and Infosys and TCS makes it happen. Third, and most importantly, Infosys and TCS have a structural advantage, the talent pool in India, which allows them to deliver high quality work at lower costs while billing clients in dollars or euros. And unlike many high growth tech companies, Infosys and TCS often share their profits through regular dividends. This gives investors both growth and income. Hence, even though Infosys, TCS may not be these flashy product companies, investing in them, the global contractors, means owning a piece of the backbone of the entire world's digital economy. Numbers can tell us how big the Nasdaq 100 is, but numbers alone don't explain why these companies dominate. Now let us take the same qualitative lens and look at the top 50% of market cap of the Nasdaq 100 index and analyze what are all the companies that fall into this category. We notice that we have giants like Nvidia, Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Google, Meta. Let us try and see what their business models and what principles are there that make them so powerful. Why is it that it is impossible to replace them and find a suitable alternative that can find such solutions? When we look at Apple, Microsoft, Google, Amazon, Meta, Nvidia, they have essentially three pillars that makes them very strong. They thrive on sticky ecosystems. Once you buy an iPhone, you are logged into its apps, the cloud, its music, its services. They lead with unstoppable innovation, innovating and investing billions into AI, cloud, and chips so that they can always stay ahead. And further, they enjoy global revenue flows, earning just not in the US, but from billions of customers worldwide. The Nasdaq top 50% of companies have monopolized the world with these three strategic objectives of sticky ecosystems, innovation, and global revenue. Hence, they are able to operate both through B2C and B2B customer base, and hence they have the mind space of millions of users. Now let us look at the mental model of how Apple works. We can call it the walled garden. Imagine a beautiful private garden with tall walls. Once you enter with an iPhone, you find music, apps, iCloud, watch, Mac, all inside. It's so convenient, you will never want to leave. And that's Apple's sticky ecosystem for you. Microsoft, the toll road operator. Think of a massive expressway system used by almost every business on earth. Microsoft owns the toll gates, Windows, Office, Azure. Hence, every time you drive through, Microsoft collects a fee, subscriptions, licenses, the cloud revenue. You can't run a modern office without passing through these toll roads at all. Now, Amazon, the marketplace and utility grid. Imagine a giant bazaar where you can buy anything. That's Amazon.com. But behind it, Amazon also owns the power grid, AWS, that runs much of the internet. They control both the marketplace of goods and infrastructure of the digital world. Google or Alphabet, it's the library of humanity. Imagine the world's largest library where every question has an answer. People step in billions of times a day through search, YouTube, maps. But here's the trick. It's free to enter. The businesses will pay Google for the privilege of putting ads in front of you and me. Google monetizes attention at scale. Meta, the global town square. Think of the biggest town square in human history. Billions gather here daily. Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, Threads. Meta doesn't sell you a ticket. It sells businesses the right to put up billboards where you hang out. The more time you spend, the more valuable their square becomes. Nvidia is the pickaxe seller in a gold rush. In every gold rush, it's not just the miners who win, it's the guy selling the pickaxes. Today's gold rush is AI, it is gaming. And Nvidia makes the GPUs, the pickaxes every technology needs. Whether it's Microsoft or Google or Tesla or Meta, they all have to buy and rely on Nvidia's tools.
An owner of businesses, one needs to think beyond the fact that Nasdaq 100 index is like several times more in terms of market capitalization compared to that of the Nifty IT index. Nifty IT index is ballpark between 3 to 5% only of the Nasdaq 100 market capitalization. And yet, if you look at the nature of businesses, they are totally different. While on the one hand, in Nasdaq 100, you have very powerful ecosystems that are being built. One can view these ecosystems like building blocks. And the work of Nifty IT index is like that of the contractor who takes these building blocks and assembles them together to create a holistic, customized and a curated solution for the Fortune 500 based companies. So the nature of businesses are totally different between the Nasdaq 100 and the Nifty IT index. So it is definitely meaningful to have businesses that cover the entire spectrum of business opportunities. Okay, now is there a way to acquire these businesses, say of that of Nasdaq 100 or the businesses that are present in the Nifty IT index, in such a way that even if one of these businesses or enterprises were to go bust and they were to get replaced by something more emerging and more relevant to the current times, we are not going to face any heavy downside risk. But on the other hand, we are able to self-cleanse our portfolio and prepare for a growth. There is a way to do it elegantly, and this we will cover in our next section.